Coming up on Kentucky Afield. If you've hunted long enough, you know sometimes you go home empty-handed. And boy, did we learn that lesson this spring. We're looking for better luck on the water. April and May is a magical time for fishing.
Oh, nice. That was about a 4-pounder.
And it's that time of year to be on the lookout for roaming bears. It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Yeah, we got one. Sweet.
Yeah, muskrat?
Yeah.
Good job. What do you know about that, man? That's a good fish, man. Nice male smallmouth. Healthy, pretty color.
Cody, here. Find us one more good pheasant, Cody.
As biologists, we catch ducks and we place bands on them.
And it's just a really excellent place to see cottonmouths.
I like it.
What do you think? Like Bowen.
That was pretty fun.
Hello and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. Our 2017 spring turkey season did not go exactly as planned, but that's why you call it hunting.
This 2017 spring turkey season has been pretty exciting. This is probably our last hunt on this piece of property. There's going to be some other people hunting. Maybe our last hunt of the year. Unfortunately, we've got some other things booked. But man, we have had some real close encounters with quite a few turkeys. Opening morning, literally right here about 40 yards, we had 3 gobblers come through. Never really presented us a real good opportunity until they got up behind the blind and we noticed the turkeys were acting a little strange. Come to find out, when we got out, we spoke to some other hunters, and that was the 3 gobblers they shot at 4 times. We haven't seen those gobblers back. We decided to move spots because the turkeys quit roosting right here above us. Many times we roosted some birds over right on a creek that borderlines this property. Unfortunately, there's a big field on the other side of the property line. We don't have permission to hunt. We've seen those 3 gobblers over there almost every day at the end of our hunt. We had a couple other sets where we worked a couple gobblers, had them really close. And numerous times we've had hens cut us off and move through from us, really close range, right to the gobblers. And that, of course, that put an end to those hunts. But it's been a lot of fun. We've seen tons of wildlife. Probably going to be tough for us to get back out. We still have a week and a half left of the season, so who knows? I hope we can make some time. We got some other shoots that we're going to be covering here in the upcoming week and a half. It's going to be a little bit tight. I hope we get another chance to get back out. I hope everyone else out there has had a great turkey season. We have sure had an exciting time out chasing these turkeys. We haven't been able to close the deal. They've not really responded to calls real well, and they've gobbled on the limb. They come off the limb. They know where they're going, out in open fields. And unfortunately, the piece of property we're hunting is predominantly wooded. I just hope we can find another day or two to get out and get us a bird. But if not, I've got no regrets. It's been a great season. Probably should have taken a shot at these birds opening morning. We didn't have real good footage of the birds prior to trying to take a shot. And it was right on the end of the range in which I felt comfortable with, about 65 yards or so. On opening day, we just didn't want to spook those birds. Little did we know they'd been shot at. But been a great time. We're gonna pick the decoys up now, get this blind up and get it out of here. And who knows, we're gonna look for another piece of property and may get another hunt in. Keep our fingers crossed.
Some of my favorite places to fish are ponds and small lakes, but unfortunately they can be hard to access from the bank. Maybe you should consider a small boat. This is perfect fishing conditions as long as we don't get any lightning.
I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
So Daren, we're out here in Western Kentucky on a private lake. Last time you and I spoke, you were making lures, and I've got a chance to use a couple of those lures and have caught some fish on them. Today, we're going big because you're telling me this lake holds some big fish.
It does have some big fish. It's one of my favorite places to come to, especially to try out some of the new baits that I've made, to see how good they swim, and it's pretty sweet when you get a big hog on the other end of it.
Oh man, and I tell you, it looks great. This impoundment's about 5 acres, and it's got a lot of brush and a lot of cover. We're gonna try a topwater bite and see if we can't get something, and then we're gonna feed them whatever it takes. How about that?
Let's do it.
Get my drag set.
We've got a chance of some showers. Of course, we're catching one right now. According to the forecast, it's hit and miss pretty much all day, but I'd rather fish in these conditions instead of it being 90 degrees and a bluebird day.
I can assure you these fish don't care that it's raining. Matter of fact, they probably like it.
Oh, big old crappie. Look at that.
Man, that's a good crappie.
Are you kidding me?
That crappie there go 15 inches. I'm telling you what, this lake size is a little small. The crappie are doing well.
Yeah. Only thing make this thing better is some biscuits and fried potatoes.
Oh, here we go.
There he is. Oh, nice.
That was about a 4-pounder. We'll take that. There we go. Look at that. This isn't exactly a really, really big one, but it's a very respectable bass.
Hey, there's a lot of people out there wish they catch a 4-pound largemouth.
Well, let's get this one back in the water.
This back side of this, Chad, it's pretty deep. It's 18, 20 feet.
Oh, there he is. Crappie. Pretty decent crappie.
Look at that, big old black crappie.
That's a nice crappie.
That is a nice crappie.
You have to come back and hit that spot again.
I know, right? This is a bait, Chad, that I make. This is a rendition. Bagley stopped making this in 1984. It's called the Mighty Minnow. The original come in like a shad, black and silver and whatnot. But I've put all kind of different paint schemes on it, and I love that bait.
Yeah, it's a nice looking little bait.
And that's the thing about them things, catch anything.
I think I'd put him in the live well if I was you.
In the live well. Yeah, it's a pretty fish.
Here we go. Looks like a crappie. The biggest crappie I've ever caught in my entire life came on a 4 or 5 inch swim bait.
Oh yeah?
And that crappie there was out in deeper water, and it sure did come up there and just waylaid it.
That's crazy.
Another one for the skillet.
You got that right. Look at here. Look at this little thing.
Got you a bass there.
Look at that. Oh, it's crazy.
Tell you what, it's that magical time of year. All the fish have moved up close to the bank. You never know what you're gonna catch.
Yeah, you just never know.
I got him, I'm not sure what it is. Man, he choked that thing down. Little bass there, sitting out here on this grass edge. I'm throwing this Kitech swim bait, Swing Impact Fat. It's a little D&L jig head on there. Now this exposed hook can get tricky when you're fishing a place that's got a lot of cover like we have here. But if you get it in and you work it pretty fast, you can almost turn a swim bait into a wake bait. This is only a 1/4 ounce head, so I can really get it out there and go. And these fish are coming up and just smoking this thing.
There's a little one. Little fella just wanted a meal. I mean, it's crazy. He'll grow up.
Oh, one's running with mine right now. I'll settle down there. Man, I'm not sure what's happened to that fish. Been hit by something, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get off your diet and start eating a little better. Well, Daren, rain or shine, you go bass fishing in April, you gotta be prepared for whatever, and you never know what you're gonna catch either.
Our main purpose this morning was bass, and we was catching crappie on swim baits and crank baits and flat square bill baits. And
started out, we thought we were gonna topwater fish, and we did catch a pretty good fish, 3.5, 4 pound fish right off the bat on a topwater, on a bait that big. And then all of a sudden the rain came. It's supposed to be rainy this afternoon, sun came out, and we kept catching fish. And we caught the vast majority of them on 2 lures, crank baits that you've made, and swim baits from Kitech.
That's right.
And that's really what we caught our fish on. It was a great time. I've enjoyed fishing with you. You got some really good private ponds. I appreciate you bringing us out and let us get on them. Let's do it again sometime.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
again.
Thank you, absolutely.
Occupied. Now let's check in and see who's catching what and where in this week's fishing report.
This is Justin with your Northeast Fishing Report. Crappie fishing is on the rise in Cave Run. The lake is back up to full pool. They have been collected on apartment place structures. Minnows and jigs are always good options for these guys. You can catch lots of fish fast, but you have to work harder for the big fish. With so many easy-to-catch fish, it makes it great for kids, so get those kids out there and interested in the sport. Another great opportunity is some smaller streams for black bass. Red River, Swift Camp Creek, Triplet Creek, and Kinnickinnick have great numbers of fish in them. You can't go wrong with flukes and spinners on these small streams. Lastly, for those that are still catching trout, lots of waters have been stocked in the area. Triplet, Big Caney, and Laurel Creek have been stocked. Cave Run tailwaters have also been stocked. That should do it for us. Good luck and be safe out there next time you go fishing.
Hi, this is John Williams for the Fish Report for Southeast Kentucky. At Lake Cumberland, striped bass fishing has been a little slow. The lake's been real high and muddy and a lot of debris. The night bite has improved this week. Catch those stripers on surface baits like slivers or thunder sticks, red fins. Also may want to try the tailwater for big stripers. Our crew clerks have reported seeing some nice stripers caught near the dam on flukes. Elsewhere in the tailwater, browns are being caught, brooks on spoons and small crankbaits. Also seeing some rainbows in the slot, 17, 18-inch fish. And elsewhere at Laurel Lake, walleye are being caught at night on crankbaits, so you may want to give that a try. As always, good luck and good fishing.
This is Rob Rolled in the Northwestern Fishery District. Our 2 big lakes, Rough River Lake and Nolin River Lake, are both now at summer pool, and surface temperatures holding right around 70 degrees, plus or minus. Largemouth bass fishing has been good, especially on the medium sloping rock banks with flat rocks. Seems like that's where the bass are really hanging out. Of course, it's post-spawn. 4 to 8 feet of water, fishing worms, plastics, crankbaits. Also at Nolin, the walleye are pretty much with the bass and in the same type areas, as well as in some of the timbered coves. Crappie fishing's been pretty slow at both reservoirs. They're kind of deep and moving a little bit deeper. It'll take them another couple of weeks to really pick back up, but they will. Catfish are doing well in small impoundments. They're up shallow along the shoreline too. That's an update from the Northwestern Fishery District. Please remember to be safe on the water and always wear your life jackets.
This is the time of year that the young male bears are really roaming the state of Kentucky. Here's some information that you can use if you see one. John Hast, Bear Program Coordinator here for the Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Yes, sir.
So tell me a little bit about what all that entails.
What that entails, a lot of times, this point in the season, it's dealing with a lot of nuisance issues that our bears cause.
I don't know if the range is actually growing so much, but we're seeing them male bears at certain times of year throughout parts of the state.
About this time of the year, the young males start getting more or less bounced out of the core of the bear range. When the older males come back in to breed, they'll bounce the yearling males out. And that's normally what we're seeing. When we get a bear that is up around central Kentucky, it's 99% of the time a 1-year-old male bear that's just looking for food and looking to get out of the core of the bear range.
Give me a sense of what a bear's sense of smell is compared to humans.
Oh, it's hundreds of times better, probably.
You guys have set up something unique here for bear enrichment, right? And you turn the bear loose.
Yes.
Pretty much immediately going to go to what it smells, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, today we're kind of really focusing on bear aware. Definitely because we are getting the bears back into Kentucky, so we have to be bear aware in bear country. And so we set up a whole campsite as if you're visiting bear country and camping. And also we have, like, if you're living in bear country, your backyard. So it's kind of to show what's good and what's not good to have out there.
Black bear encounters in the state of Kentucky with humans is common, but we've never had a fatality, correct?
Correct. Yeah. But they are. They tend to be unpredictable at times, and a lot of that also comes back to a bear that's fine with approaching people. You might think that you can, have it approach you, or you approach it to get some photos or something like that, and that's always a bad idea.
Well, the main thing we encounter is bears getting in people's trash and pet food and around the houses is most of the nuisance problems we have. The main thing with a bear is a food source. If there's no food source, then you're not going to see a bear around your house.
You'd be buying those plastic garbage cans every night if you have a bear coming by. They would get pretty expensive.
Oh, yes, yes. And you can see how quickly he put his head in and got the food out. Even flattened it, so.
Uh-oh.
It's a repeat occurrence until people learn to live with the bears.
The whole idea may seem pretty enticing to see a bear, but man, it can really cause some problems, huh?
Right. They're
and
fun.
Be dangerous.
Yeah, they're fun the first day or two, but then once they get that food reward, it's hard to get them to leave.
Yeah, look at that. Pretty simple.
Yes.
I thought it would take a little bit of time for him to get in that cooler, but
No.
Flipped that thing over and was right in.
Yeah, it's a cheap cooler from Walmart that everyone has, and yeah, it was very easy for him to get into.
Yeah, the worst case scenario is a bear that's been hand-fed, a bear that associates a human with their garbage. And a lot of times we'll see those bears around tourist areas, state parks and such, that end up being hand-fed and become a problem. And they'll approach people. We've had cases of people being run off their picnic table while the lunch is spread out. And there's really nothing we can do as bear managers except catch and euthanize that bear. And it's an unfortunate way for a bear to go, but it's due to their association with humans and food.
If you call and say the bear has gotten in my trash 5 nights in a row, what's that tell you need to do? You need to remove that food source. There's several ways to deal with the trash. Leave it inside until trash day and then put it out that morning. Maybe purchase a bear-proof can.
So John, what we have here is considered a bear-proof container.
It is, yeah.
So we talked about bears being smart. So a bear comes to here a couple times and gets nothing out of it. He's probably gonna quit visiting it, or at least he's not gonna be strewing the garbage around, correct?
Yeah, it's not worth his while to come and get it. And this is very typical of what you'll find in, say, Red River Gorge, throughout the Daniel Boone National Forest. And then a lot of our state parks in bear country have gone to this type of dumpster.
So this is just one example. There are other examples of bear-proof garbage containers, correct?
Yeah, there are. These are available in larger sizes for commercial places, gas stations, restaurants, stuff like that. And we encourage our store owners in Eastern Kentucky, if they have a bear problem, to think about getting a commercial dumpster.
So obviously, if you're a homeowner, this may be a little bit more expensive, but there are other options you can come up with as well. And it can become illegal feeding bears in and around your house, correct?
It is. The law states that you cannot directly or indirectly feed a bear. And what that means is, of course, directly feeding is you intentionally feed. Indirect means that say a bear is getting in your trash or your pet food, and you just keep putting it out, and you don't try to take measures to keep the bear from getting in it, or you didn't mean to put the pet food out for the bear, but if it gets in it and you keep doing that, then that's kind of an indirect feeding.
So anything else you'd like to tell everybody about remaining bear aware in Eastern Kentucky?
Yeah, it ends up being a little bit of a lifestyle change for the residents that live in the counties that have bears, and that area now is pretty much the majority of Eastern Kentucky. When you get east and southeast of Lexington, you're in bear country, and it's best just to be aware, take care of your garbage, don't give the bear a reason to come around. And like you said, you'll still see a bear, but it won't become a problem.
So we gotta be concerned with pet food, garbage, human food,
bird feeders, and then any kind of, if you've got goats and livestock, a lot of people have small hobby farms, and those tend to be problems too with chicken feed and goat feed.
But the main thing is we just need people to learn that the food source is the main problem, and we give you suggestions, and if you don't remove that food source, then the bear is going to keep coming back, and most of the time that results in either somebody getting sighted or we have to kill the bear and put it down, because after it's been fed so long, there's no rehabilitating that bear.
Well, we hope everyone's safe. We want the bears to remain safe, and we want people outdoors enjoying what we have to offer in the state of Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky especially. But we want people to handle their garbage and to do it responsibly.
Yes.
So get outdoors and enjoy yourselves, but just take care of your trash and your food, right? That's the main message,
Yep,
correct?
it's the best way to live in bear country.
So if you want to get up and close and personal with a bear, this is a pretty good place to do it at Salado Center, right? I mean, you're typically going to be, you're never going to be further than a couple hundred feet, but a lot of times you're going to be within 10, 12, 15 feet, right?
Oh yes, definitely with the enrichments. He knows, he comes up, he's right there in front of the window, usually just a couple feet from the window, to where you can get a good, safe look at the bears.
Yeah, a lot better than getting that close out in the wild. Obviously, we don't want to do that.
Yes.
Now, let's check out this week's Ones That Didn't Get Away. Here's Matt Thomas with his turkey taken in the spring of 2015 in Madison County. Nice job. Here's Isaac Roundtree with a nice 9-point buck that he took in Whitley County. He said, "This one's going on the wall." Nice job. Here's Derek Kaufman with his very first deer, a 5-point buck that was taken in McLean County, Kentucky. Nice job. Here we have Emerson Brooks from Georgetown, Indiana, fishing in a Nelson County farm pond. Nice bluegill. Here we have Ashton Burks, 7 years old, with 2 deer taken during the youth deer season in Spencer County. Nice job. Now here is a big drum caught by Kermit Caudell on Laurel Lake. Said he caught this on 8-pound sunline. Nice job. Here's 9-year-old Logan Rowe with a really nice striper caught in Lake Cumberland. Nice job. Here's Connor Hurley with his first squirrel ever, taken in Pike County with his stepdad Sam. Here we have McKenna Jarrells, 10-year-old from Pike County, with her very first squirrel. Nice job. Check out this buck by Mike Lagerman of Mount Washington. It's 11-pointer taken in Metcalfe County. Nice deer. Now check out the double drop tines on this buck here, taken by Peyton Snyder. Congratulations. JC Farmer of Taylor County looks like she is hooked forever after catching this catfish in her grandpa's pond. Nice job. Here's Kentucky Afield fan Wesley Denny. He's 6 years old and he's showing us a picture of his 7-point buck. Nice job. Here we have Mason Brennicky of Fern Creek, Kentucky, with a nice bluegill from his pawpaw's pond. Nice job. Next weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and that kicks off the boating season for many Kentuckians. This is a great time to check your boat and make sure it's safe, and make sure your registration's current. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Till next week, I'm your host, Chad Miles, and hope to see you in the woods or on the water.
More Kentucky Afield is available at your fingertips. Whether by smartphone or desktop, you'll find extra tips, photos, even behind-the-scenes video on our social media pages. Join the conversation and stay in the woods or on the water longer when you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Simply search Kentucky Afield on your favorite app. If you hold a Kentucky hunting or fishing license, then you have helped make possible Kentucky's wildlife management areas, places to hunt, fish, birdwatch, or just let your mind wander. With nearly 100 dotting the Commonwealth, put wildlife management areas in your sights for fall hunting and see more of what makes Kentucky's outdoors outstanding. Get all the information online at fw.ky.gov.